Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Scare Scream Theater. Glad you're joining me this evening. It is Wednesday, November something, the 12th, I think, November 12th. And I just recently came back from Salem. I have a lot to talk about this episode. We're not going to go over a movie, but we are going to go over some film festivals, beginning with Happenstance Horror Festival. But first, I want to remind you of the hotline number, 512-710-8766. That's Scara's Scary Hotline. I got that name from the Fists and Fears podcast from Adrian. The Scara's Scary Hotline. Call me now, 512-710-8766, and leave me a message. You know what you could leave me? I'm still trying to decide which Christmas horror I'm going to show on the first Sunday in December at Scare Scream Theater at Doc's Drive-In Theater. I want a Christmas horror movie. I've already shown the original Black Christmas from 1974, and I've already shown Silent Night, Deadly Night. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be Rare Exports? Is it going to be Gremlins? Is it going to be Terrifier 3? What should we show? Call me now. Call me now. 512-710-8766. Leave a message, and I'll play it on the next podcast, and you can help me decide what movie to show in December. I know you all have an opinion, so give it to me now. Give it to me now. This is the only time I ask for your opinions. Okay. Thanks again, Adrian Fist and Fears podcast, for the name Scary Hotline. All right. What's next? Okay. Let's go to Happenstance. Let me backtrack. On Thursday, this past Thursday, I hosted a murder mystery at Mama Merlot's. It ended around 11. Actually, I think I was able to scooch out of there a little bit before 11. I get home close-ish to midnight, and I have to finish packing and wash all of this off and put a little moisturizer, a little tinted balm on my face, and get dressed into regular clothes and all of that stuff, and finish packing and all that. And my flight to Salem, to Boston, was to take off. I had to be on the plane, I think by 5:10. It was taking off at 5:30. So, all the TSA stuff going on. I was nervous. I'm nervous anyway about the airport. I'm nervous I'm going to miss my flight. I'm nervous about being on a plane. I'm nervous about all of it. So I usually get to the airport 2 hours early anyway. But because of the supposed delays and whatever, I was like, all right, I'm going to get there 2.5, 3 hours early. So by the time I was done packing and getting ready, it was like I only had an hour to spare before I had to go to the airport. And I said, fuck it, I can't go to sleep, So I just stayed up, got to the airport, stayed awake in the airport, and got on the plane. By the way, there was no delays. The line was like a regular line. And I think there was a bit of fear-mongering going on about all that. Or it was just early enough that it didn't matter. Anyways, I had 2 planes that I had to get on to go to Boston, and I was able to catch like the tiniest cat naps on both of them. The kind where you're like this, where you kind of fall over and you wake yourself up. That was me. I think I had the aisle seat both times, which is the hardest seat to sleep in my opinion. So I get to Boston, get an Uber, get to the hotel in Salem, or actually it's Peabody, right outside of Salem. And then I have to get this all ready. I have to get all scared up, right? Then get in the Uber from Peabody, go to Salem, and then boom, I go to the Happenstance Horror Festival. At this point, I've been up for 24 hours. Because Thursday, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, and I get to Happenstance, and it's around, actually, I hadn't been up 24 hours yet, but by the time I'd left Happenstance, I had been up 24 hours. Okay. However, I am so glad, sleep deprivation be damned, because I am so glad I went to this festival. It was very, very fun. There's a lot to discuss here. George James Frazier is the head of that festival, and he reached out to me a while back and told me that he selected my band's music video, Spooky Shit, directed by Boudreaux Partita of Penny Rock Productions, produced by Penny Rock and Horror Web, and shot mostly out at Bat City Scaregrounds. If you haven't seen the video yet, you can find it on the Horror Web YouTube channel on the Immortals little section of that channel. And it's a really fun video. Herman's in it, my dog. It's my favorite part. And it's doing really well in the film festivals. A lot of film festivals, the indie ones anyway, will include music videos. And I think it's a good idea because it kind of livens things up in between, the shorts. Not that the shorts aren't lively, but sometimes there needs to be a little bit of a livening up of the audience. So anyway, George had let me know a while back that he had selected my movie, but for some reason I was, I'm busy, and it didn't like cross my mind about it being in Salem. So then later, Boudreaux, the director, told me, hey, this festival's in Salem. And I said, let's go. Let's book it. So I had to move stuff around, not as well as I wanted to, but I moved stuff around and I got there. And I'm so glad that we were selected. George was there to greet us. He was super nice. There was a beautiful step and repeat. He almost immediately was just introducing us to people, and we got like a free t-shirt and stuff like that. It was a really, really nice welcome package. And then we were set up to be interviewed by the YouTube channel Tales of Salem, I believe. And I'm trying to remember the man's I think it was, I cannot remember the man's name that interviewed us. I'm so sorry, but I do know it's Tales of Salem is the guy's YouTube. And he was a great interviewer, very knowledgeable. And I think it was a fun interview. It was with both myself and Boudreaux. The festival, by the way, was held in a very cute movie theater, like a 3-theater movie house, right smack dab in the middle of Salem. In the middle of it all, it was called Cinema Salem. Everybody there was super nice. Like, you walk in and it smells like popcorn immediately. And that's my favorite. I love when a movie theater smells like popcorn, even if I don't eat it. I like to smell it. It's kind of like cigarettes. I don't smoke, but I don't mind the smell of it. I know that's weird, but it's true. Okay. I don't mind the smell of a cigarette. Cigars are a different story. Okay. Where are we? All right. Then, so they'd already screened Spooky Shit before I got there, because the festival had been going on. I got there as soon as I could, but they'd already screened it. So I was standing in the lobby and people came out of the theater and they were coming up and talking about how much they loved the song and they loved the video. And so that was really cool. And then George, the festival guy, told us, hey, we're going to show your video again in this next block. Wonderful. So we go in, we sit for the next block of horror movies in our video. And by the way, festival is really nicely produced. They selected some amazing selections, and also like the bumpers and things they put in between playing the movies were really cool. So they play our song. The crowd is really digging it. And mind you, this crowd most of them had already seen the music video, but they were cool about seeing it again. And that was heartwarming. That was really nice. And then after that, I was put on a panel. I was interviewed by Anna Maria, I think it's Venezia. No, I'm not going to even try. Veneziano. Veneziano? I don't know. We're just going to call her Anna Maria. That's how she introduced herself to me. What a beautiful name. Anna Maria had myself and several other women in horror on a panel. There was a bunch of us, and all these women were well-spoken, very smart writers, directors, filmmakers, all just with amazing projects and products. And I was honored to be on that panel. I wasn't even there for my film. I don't even know if we had submitted my film to this festival. Maybe we will. Well, I don't know if it'll be too late, but I talked both about the music video and about my movie, Damsel of the Doomed, that I wrote and starred in, which hopefully will be coming out in 2026. Hopefully in 2026. You know what I mean? I'm guessing on streaming services. Actually, the director and executive producer right now is in LA trying to sell that son of a gun. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll have some good news for you guys. So after the Women in Horror panel, I think we watched another couple of shorts. And then that's when I started to hit the wall a little bit. I needed some food. I hadn't eaten all day. So we left, and we had the intention of coming back, but once I got a little food in me, we were done. We went, I don't remember the name of the first restaurant we went to. It was just kind of down the road. And of course, I had the lobster roll and the clam chowder, because that's what you do. I wanted fresh lobster, and I got it, and it was really good. And it was on a gluten-free wrap, so that was nice. And so we had that, and then we walked around, and it was a beautiful night in Salem. The trees, wow. The leaves were like, it's one of the last places in Boston where the leaves are still changing. And they were every color of changing leaf that you can imagine. It was absolutely magical. And by the way, it got dark at like 4:25 or something. I mean, pitch black. So it seemed way later than it was. So we were just so exhausted. And Boudreaux messaged the festival director and said, Scarra's been up for 24 hours and she's got to go. So George was really kind about it and understood that I couldn't go back. So that was day one in Salem. Oh, no, let's see. So we went and ate, and then we went to the Halloween Museum and a few other little spots, just there in the square. And then we went back to the hotel, and I passed the fuck out. That was day one. Now, this was a very short trip. So the next day was day two. I got up at 7 a.m, and we were downtown Salem by 11. Now, each of us had a place we wanted to go. I was traveling with two other people. I was traveling with Boudreaux and his wife, Monica, who's just absolutely adorable and lovely and funny and smart. And so we each had a place where we wanted to visit. My place was... and this is outside of historical places and tours and things like that. Remember, this is a very quick trip. We were not able to make reservations for any of the guided tours or any of that stuff. So that's going to have to be on another trip, unfortunately. So this trip was just like, what stores do you want to hit up? What sites do you want to see? So the store I wanted to hit up was Die With Your Boots On. And so that was the first one we went to, and it was amazing. I became aware of Die With Your Boots On from ye old TikTok. They have a very good TikTok. It just comes across my feed all the time. I guess I'm one of their target demos. And so I went there and I got a few things. And the employees, everybody I dealt with in Salem, at every store, restaurant, anywhere, was so nice, guys. Like super, super duper nice. And the guy that was helping me at Die With Your Boots On was this little fella. And he had a very thick Boston accent. And he was so cute. I wanted to put him in my pocket and just check on him every once in a while and be like, hello, how are you doing? Amazing. Bought a few things there. And we ended up going back there, funnily enough, because Monica needed to buy luggage because she bought too much stuff elsewhere. Anyway, we went from Die With Your Boots On to go have lunch. And the lunch was at Turner's. Yeah, a very established, fancy seafood place. And I had the lobster pie, and I ate every bit of it, even though I was full after about 4 bites. I ate all of it because it was so good. And they served it with butternut squash, which is my favorite. Okay, what else? Oh, speaking of the leaves, let's rewind. When I got up in the hotel that morning, I turned on the weather, and they gave the weather report. And then right after that, they gave the when to rake your leaves report. I'm not kidding. They were like, Sunday and Monday are the last days where it's going to, not be super wet, but you're going to want to rake your leaves before then. And they were going on and on about when to rake your leaves, which is, we don't have that here in Texas. We don't have a rake your leaves report like they do up there in Boston, but I thought that was cute. But there are so many leaves, and it does get very wet, and wet leaves get heavy. I get it. Damaging your roofs and whatever. Okay, so my store was Die With Your Boots On. It was awesome. Let's see. Monica's store was the Black Veil, and I didn't realize I had heard of the Black Veil before. Joey, I believe, from The Glass Coffin was the one who told me about the Black Veil a long time ago, and I just didn't remember because the twins that own that store and that tattoo out of there, they came to Austin and they went to Joey's store, The Glass Coffin, that used to be here, which sadly is no longer here. I'm talking about Joey Slane, the old vampire of Austin that used to haunt around here. He has since moved, sadly, but he had an amazing store, which was super beautiful, maybe the most beautiful thing in Austin. And Austin should have treated Joey Slane better, I think. They should have done everything they could to keep him around, because places like the Glass Coffin are what keep Austin weird, which is supposedly the city's motto. I don't know. They built a highway that was going to run right through a store, so they didn't keep it very weird. They kept it pretty unweird. So Joey had to leave. But he was the one who had mentioned to me the Black Veil, but I forgot about it until Monica brought me there. And holy crap, the Black Veil, I could have spent all day there. It was inspiring. There was the art was amazing, but the decor of the shop, the way that the twins decorated that shop, goals. You see these walls behind me? This is my house. This will soon look different. I'm going to do some things in here because I was very much inspired by two places, and I'm about to tell you about the second one. But the Black Veil is definitely one. And they had these earrings that I really wanted. These spider earrings that the twins had designed, and then a jewelry maker had made for them. And they're just a little out of my price range, but I'm scheming. I'm trying to figure out how I can get those babies. Trying. Y'all want to start a GoFundMe for a witch? I'm just kidding. Okay. So we stayed there for a while, got a few things, and left. The next place we went was where Boudreaux wanted to go. And Boudreaux, I feel like I'm hunching. Gosh. I am. I was like this the whole time. Boudreaux wanted to go to the Satanic Temple. Let's pretend I have an echo effect. Boudreaux wanted to go to the Satanic Temple. And so we did. And if you don't know anything about the Satanic Temple, it's really, it's not... If there's a good documentary, I forgot what it's called, but it's about the Satanic Temple. And really what the Satanic Temple is there. It's been established to fight the church being allowed to come into schools, after school prayer groups and such, because they believe in the separation of church and state. And so if there is a Christian organization that establishes a prayer group, then the Satanic Temple will come in and establish an after-school group. If a religious monument is put up on, say, a government building or a courthouse, which is a government building, then the Satanic Temple might put up a Baphomet statue. You know what I mean? That's what they do. They're not devil worshipers, is what I'm getting at. They are not, I repeat, they are not devil worshipers. They just think there should be that separation that we're supposed to have constitutionally, church and state, okay? But don't take my word for it. Watch the documentary. It's really well done, very informative, and I think you'll like it. Now, I told you there was two places that really inspired me. Style-wise, home decor-wise, well, the Satanic Temple was one of them. It's in a house, and every room of that house was decorated beautifully. The wallpaper especially was to die for in every single room. They had this shiny, shiny gold wallpaper that had like a design on it that was flucked in red. And oh my God, if I don't want that for one of my bathrooms, I don't know what I want. They also had there was hues of very, very dark blue, blacks, black and gold or red and gold was a big thing. Beautiful place. Gosh, that was another place I could have stayed for a while. And just, there's a lot of history and a lot of information there about their organization and about various other things. And then fun things, fun, spooky things. And so that was a good time. In Boudreaux, I've never seen him so happy. And they have that statue of the Baphomet that has the two children on either side looking up lovingly. They're like, a little boy and a little girl on either side of Baphomet. And they're looking up adoringly at him. Well, we took pictures, of course, sitting on his lap and standing next to him and all of that. And I'm going to send it to my mom on her birthday, and it's going to make her have a stroke. I'm just kidding. I cannot show my mom that. I don't think my mom watches this. Sorry, Mom, if you do. But again, Mom, I'm telling you, it's not satanic. They don't even believe in Satan. Get out of here with that. Okay. So after that, we went to the witch house, the famous witch house, and it was booked. We couldn't get in. So we took the picture on the outside. It has parts of that building go back before, I want to say 16 something, if I read it correctly. I should have researched before this podcast, but I didn't. Anyway, we went to the witch house. We took those pictures. We also, they have the famous witch statue in the square, took pictures there. And then we went and ate some pizza at a place called what is it? I think it was the Satellite something. I don't know. It was good pizza. Okay. But at this point, it was raining. And I had the shittiest umbrella on the face of the earth. There's holes in it. It kept going inverted. Ugh. But it really didn't faze me. I wanted to stay as late as I could, looking at every little store, nook and cranny I could explore. And here's the other funny thing about Salem. Every one of those stores, they all have a throne. They all have a little throne set up where you could take a picture. They all have a photo op moment. Now, the first time I ever saw that, I'm going to go back to the Glass Coffin here in Austin, Texas, was at the Glass Coffin. And now I know, I'm pretty sure, because Joey's a vampire, but he's witchy as shit. And I now know that he must have gotten his throne set up, because he had a really cool throne set up too. He must have gotten that idea in Salem, and I just didn't know, because I've never been until now. I'll tell you this, I'm going to go again. I've got to go again to Salem. All right. So my final impressions of Salem are, it's storybook perfect for a witch like me. I mean, I would look around and I couldn't believe it. Seeing all these groups of women in particular, all wearing those really well-made witch hats, not the plastic, really pointy ones you get at Halloween, but they're cloth, you know what I mean? There was just, everywhere you look, there was women wearing those hats. And everywhere you look, there's women just happy, just being happy in a magical place called Salem, despite or in spite of what happened there many, many years ago to women who dared to be different, women who were smart and well-studied and maybe inherited money from their husbands who had passed on, and the church wanted that money. And so maybe they, orchestrated some things and got them accused of witchcraft. I'm not saying this is actually what happened, but it might have. I think I read that. In spite of all of that, to this day, groups of women go to Salem and they have the time of their life. And I'm telling you, it made me happy. And it's not just that, though. It's not just seeing those women in the witch hats being very happy. It was seeing the streets were part cobblestone and part brick. I love old things. That's my favorite thing to do, is go look at old stuff. It has an energy about it. It just does. You can feel it. It's something different. It has a frequency that I vibrate with. Old stuff, especially in Salem. and all the trees were all the colors, and there were still Halloween decorations up, by the way, all over the place, not just in the square, but at people's houses when we were driving through the neighborhoods. Halloween decorations still up in November. It's like they celebrate all the way through, which I appreciate. Because as much as I love Halloween and as much as I love Salem, I don't know if going to Salem for Halloween is on my bucket list because I don't like crowds that much. I don't want to be around that many witches. There was plenty there when I was there. And that amount and that number made me happy. At one point, I remember I was walking from the Black Veil to go to the gas station to number 1. And there's trees lining the sidewalk, and leaves were all on the sidewalk and in the gutter. And there were leaves just like falling down in front of me with every step. And I was, You remember that scene in, well, if you don't, there's a scene in Sleepless in Seattle where Meg Ryan turns around, and I think it was that movie, and it's fall and all these leaves are coming down. And it felt like it was right out of a movie. I felt like I was in a movie almost the entire time I was there. Storybook, perfect. The light rain at the end, the chilly breeze, but not so cold that you needed to bundle up, from head to toe. Perfect. I will be back to Salem, and I want to go and be there for a longer time and really spend more time looking at all the historical sites. Maybe taking a tour. Maybe. Okay. Let's see. Look at this. Let me try to do this. Okay. I'm supposed to be able to, Tales of Salem's watching. See that? Hope you had a great time in Salem. Thanks again for the interview. Looking forward to finishing the episode. Well, thank you, Tales of Salem, for commenting. And then, they also say, let's put this up. They also say that the temple has an amazing art gallery. Absolutely, yes, it does. I will go back. When I go back, by the way, I'll visit all 3 of those stores again, and then all of the other ones. And we went to every, there's several stores we went, but I just mentioned those because they were the top 3 that we all wanted to go to. But the next time I go, it's going to be more of the historical side of things. But this time was fun, just vibing. Let me know if you want me to do a little haul. If you want me maybe next time to show you what I purchased. I didn't get a lot, but I got a few things. You might want to see it. I don't know. Maybe you don't care. Maybe I'll just take a picture of it, put it on Instagram. I don't know. Okay. Traveling with Boudreaux and Monica was a dream too. They're very easygoing. That makes a big difference. If you are traveling with people, make sure you're cool. Don't be grumpy. Don't be somebody who is arguing or doesn't want to go do something. Just go. If you don't want to go, just go anyway, or go do your own thing. But don't be a stick in the mud. And Monica and Boudreaux are perfect. I love a good travel companion. Okay, and I want to give a final thanks to everyone who continued to assure me that I should go on this trip, because when I was watching the news and TSA was, every other second I was hearing about the cancellations and delays. The cancellations and delays. Oh my God, the cancellations, guys. Every second. I was like, all I need is one person to tell me I should not go, that I should cancel this trip. And I will. But nobody would tell me that. Everybody I spoke to was like, no, it's going to be fine. Just go. And they were right. And I'm so glad I went. And by the way, the return trip from Boston to Austin, I had a direct flight. Now, that flight was postponed, but it was like postponed 20 minutes, okay? And getting through TSA in Boston, there was 0 line. That was the easiest trip through TSA I've ever had, homeboy. So I'm just saying, don't be fear-mongered. Just, do it. Now, Boudreaux and Monica had a harder time getting home from Boston to Austin, but they had a connecting flight, and you never know. So hopefully all of that will kind of clear up, and they'll start paying those agents again. Pay those agents. Quit this bullshit. Well, I don't want to say that because I want health care for people. Look, everybody deserves health care. If you disagree with that, just get the fuck out of here. I don't need that kind of energy around here. Get out. Get out. Okay. I'm so glad I went to Happenstance Horror Festival. It was very much worth it in and of itself. It was very much worth it. Salem was the big, delicious, witchy cherry on top. Okay? Now, before I go, let's see where I put my phone. I want to tell you what I'm going to be doing this weekend. I got to open this sucker up. Look at my phone case. Oh, so cute. Okay, this weekend, starting Friday, we have got Ethereal Horror Fest here in Austin. And this will be the second year I go to Ethereal. Last year I went and I won the Icon Award, Horror Icon Award. That's me. Hey, everybody, it's me, Scara, Damsel of the Doomed, Horror Icon. You can't take it away from me, ever. That's what I am. Okay, I've been awarded it. I didn't self-proclaim it. It's been given, bestowed upon me. All right, so that's this weekend, Ethereal Horror Festival. It's at AFS Cinema. It's 3 days. Day one, you're going to want to get there right away because at 6:45 they are showing House of Abraham. It's a feature. It was directed by Austin's own Lisa Belcher. And it stars Natasha Henstridge. You remember her from Species. Beautiful, talented, amazing. Lynn Shay. Now, Lynn Shay's been in so much, but maybe best known for you horror heads from the Insidious franchise. And then Lucas Hassel, who has been in some notable things, maybe best known from the series The Blacklist. It is, I haven't seen it yet, and I can't wait. I've been talking to Lisa Belcher a little bit on social media. Uh-oh, a light went out. Just pretend that didn't happen. I've been talking to Lisa Belcher a little bit on social media, and this movie has been doing very well across the film festivals, and it's a mysterious cult horror. So you're not going to want to miss that. Now, that's day one. And then they have a bunch of shorts and a bunch of fun things planned the whole time. I'm going to kind of speed this up now because I'm afraid the lights are all going to go out, and then we'll just be sitting staring at each other in the dark. And that's not scheduled until later this evening. So before I lose any more lights, let me tell you about what's happening on day 3 that you need to go to. For the first time, they're having a block called The Pride of Terror. Let's see, let me get on the schedule here. The Pride of Terror was put together by my friend Ryan Ainsworth. He has a horror group on Facebook called Shock the Fright. Ryan is a great guy. He's a big fan of all sorts of different horror festivals. You maybe have seen him at Texas Frightmare Weekend or Houston Horror Film Festival or Cult Classic Film Festival and Ethereal Horror Festival. And now he has a block of movies called The Pride of Terror. It's an LGBTQ friendly block, and he's going to have a mixer and a gathering on Sunday. This coming Sunday, it starts meet in the lobby at 12:45. I think the movies start around 1:15, and Ryan will be there hosting things. So that's Sunday. They've got some Rocky Horror Picture Show gatherings going on. I think that might be on Saturday. They're packed with various shorts. They have student shorts, shorts from other filmmakers. They've got features. They have everything. Mixers for producers, directors, filmmakers galore. You're not going to want to miss Ethereal Horror Fest. It's another really good horror festival, horror film festival that I have been blessed to be a part of last year, and I'm going to go this year to just, watch some good movies. I'll be there, like I said, on Friday to watch House of Abraham, and so should you. Okay. Oh, we got another light on. Look at that. Let me check this comment real quick before we go. Diablo says, any more, it's Keep Austin Corporate. Yeah. Keep Austin Weird has kind of switched over to Keep Austin Corporate, hasn't it? The more you grow, that's kind of kind of what happens. So it's up to us weirdos to keep it as weird as we can. And that happens if you go and support things like Ethereal Horror Festival. Okay? Ethereal Horror Fest is keeping Austin weird. So you got to go out and do stuff like that. You got to go out and support the indie filmmaker scene. There's really cool stuff coming out of the indie horror films. It's not like so cookie cutter, big studio stuff. So, put your money where your mouth is. Get out there. Okay. Don't forget, call the hotline, 512-710-8766. Call Scary Scara hotline. Leave me a message, maybe a comment or a question, or you can tell me what Christmas horror movie I should show on the first Sunday of December at Doc's Drive-In Theater for Horror Web Presents Scary Scream Theater. Call now, leave a message, 512-710-8766. If you don't call, your mama's a hoe. Okay, that should be enough for now. Thank you so much if you've watched live. If not, thank you for watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcasting network. I'll be back next Wednesday. I'll tell you all about Ethereal and my experience there. And maybe we'll talk about some other movies, okay? All right. I'll see you in your screams.